guys, welcome back to my channel. Mermaid Nina here. Well, tonight we are going to talk about Lightning Lane Multipass. That is right, you guys have been begging for this video, and you know what, I took some time to get to know the system. Went back to Disney World a few times, tested it out over and over again because there were some glitches that were going on those first few days, and so I wanted to make sure I 100% could give you guys, are you ready? My top 10 tips and tricks for using Lightning Lane Multipass. So as most of you know, it was FastPass, then it went to Genie Plus. It is now known as Lightning Lane Multipass. That is the way to skip the lines at Disney World. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, check out my Lightning Lane Multipass explanation video first. You're gonna get the ins and outs of the system, how much it costs, when you can purchase, how do you purchase, and kind of the rules that go with the system. This video is very much the tips and tricks. So you do need both videos to get the full circle of this system. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, this is the tips and tricks. If you don't know what Lightning Lane Multipass is, check out my other video. But the system is actually really easy to use. It is very self-explanatory. It's on the app. You go into My Disney Experience. On the home page, you scroll down, it says Lightning Lane. You follow the prompts, you pick your dates, your park, who you're getting passes for, and you immediately start selecting the rides. You actually get to see your rides before you have to press the purchase button. So you know what you're purchasing before you go into it. So that's uber helpful. But of course, with any system, there are tips and tricks or ways you can say maximize not only your purchase, because this isn't cheap, right? This stuff's not cheap. You can maximize your purchase, but then maximize your day, right? Better rides, better times, all those things are what we're talking about tonight in my tips and tricks video. So, like I said, these have been tested by me, by coworkers, by clients, by friends and family, anyone I could. I sent them out, test this for me, I tested it. So this is all very much the conclusion and answer to all the questions you guys have been asking me for the past several weeks. Now, before we get into my top 10, there's a few things I want to talk about so you know my lingo, because you guys always ask me these questions. When I say you need to scan into a ride, I use that lingo all the time. I'm talking about scanning into the ride using your Magic Band, because you do indeed kind of scan into the ride, into your pass. When you're getting a Lightning Lane multi-pass or a single pass, you do scan. Now, of course, if you don't have a Magic Band, you would then scan in with your phone or scan in with your park ticket. Either way, you are scanning something. So when I talk about scanning into your next ride, or don't forget to scan into that ride, I'm talking about using your band and physically scanning into the queue. Hopefully you're with me. The other thing I use all the time is the word pass. I am talking about to physically either get a pass, which is a return time, a Lightning Lane multi-pass, right? So you get a return time, or I'm talking about using that Lightning Lane multi-pass. So when I say pass, I'm talking about your return time. I'm talking about that ride that you selected with the return time. I am referring to that as pass, because it is Lightning Lane multi-pass, right? So you guys with me when I use those words? I want you to kind of know what I'm talking about, right? So enough with that, let's hop to it. Tip number 1, and of course these are in no particular order, but I may have saved the best ones for the end, just so you know. Number 1 here is you need to remember that everyone in your party, everyone on your Disney reservation, everyone you're trying to get Lightning Lane passes for, return times for, needs to all start off getting the exact same ride at the exact same time. It's actually going to default to that. So mom, dad, brother, sister, grandma, who's ever going together, you automatically have to select Pirates of the Caribbean at 10 a.m. for example. Now maybe grandma doesn't want to ride pirates. Maybe you have a 5-year-old who wants to ride Aladdin. Not necessarily a good ride example, but you guys know what I'm getting at. Maybe grandma and 5-year-old don't want to ride pirates for whatever given reason. You want to get them Aladdin's flying carpets. Yeah, you have to select pirates for everyone starting out. Then when you go and you purchase and you follow through the system, you can go back and modify. Modify is going to be the key to this system actually, so we're going to be talking about modify a lot. You are then going to go back in and modify to select which ride grandma and the 5-year-old actually want to ride. Tip here, you want to kind of follow the map. Don't pick a ride for some of your party that's over here and then a ride for other people over here. You guys want to try to stay together as much as you can in the same general area. Why? Because once you all use that pass, you've scanned into the ride and used that pass, you get another pass. So if you're waiting, oh, grandma and the 5-year-old haven't ridden Aladdin's yet, and you're waiting and waiting, that's gonna be annoying. You wanna make sure everyone at least tries to ride the same thing or rides things in the general area or the same general time. Because as soon all of you scan in and ride, you get another pass. But just know the default is everyone in your party has to originally select the same ride at the same time. You guys with me? So number 2 is hoppers. 100% the system works with park hoppers. Now previously with park hoppers, you had to buy a certain type of pass to allow this hopping. Not anymore. Once you have the park hopper ticket, right, that's the type of ticket you have, is a park hopper, you can indeed hop. Now to hop with Lightning Lane Multipass, you just have to select your rides, original 3 rides that you get with the pass with the system for your first park. I'm gonna go with Epcot. So if you're going to Epcot that day, but you know you're going to Magic Kingdom in the evening, but you're starting off at Epcot, get your 3 rides for Epcot. That is the default. They're gonna make you pick all those rides for the same park. Now, as soon as you go to Epcot that morning and you scanned into that first pass, you can immediately change the rest of your passes to basically whatever you want, which means you don't have to use all 3 of those passes at Epcot. You can actually immediately change them to Magic Kingdom or wherever you're hopping to. So again, this is the default in the system. When you first go to select your passes and you first go to purchase, they all have to be the same park. Once you scan into that first ride on that day, on that park day, you can then modify everything accordingly. You can get passes for park number 1, you can get passes for park number 2, whatever you want to do. You purchase the pass one time that day. So you don't have to purchase a Magic Kingdom pass and an Epcot pass and a whatever. You just purchase it once. For the park you're starting out at, again, scan once into that first ride, and then you can modify and change. Number 3 is here is the key is modify if you haven't gotten that already. There are some defaults into the system that we're talking about, but key here is to modify. So after you go and you initially purchase your 3 rides at your 3 times for all your peoples for the rest of your trip, whatever you're doing, you can immediately go back in and modify. Modify is key. I don't know if Disney is adding more ride times to the system. That stuff we don't know, but we highly suspect they are, because any given time moment, a better time, a better ride will show up. I've had people not have Tiana's all day. They couldn't get Tiana's, they couldn't get a pass for Tiana's, and all of a sudden it pops up and they got a pass for Tiana's. So that is why technically, if you want to make the most of this system, you are on your phone, unfortunately, checking and checking and modifying and checking and checking. You're almost on your phone more than Genie Plus. Ooh, I hate saying that. But that's because of the modify. You don't have to modify. You can just pick your 3 rides at your 3 times, put your phone down and move on with your life. But if you're trying to make the most, get the most bang for your buck, get a specific ride at a specific time, yeah, the key here is to modify. Keep checking and modify both rides and ride times, right? Number 4. Now this is a big one when it comes to planning out your days. Just like with dining, this is so true with dining as well. anyone who is traveling before you, the day before you, 2 days before you, 3 days before you, doesn't matter. Anyone traveling before you gets to select their passes before you. Let that kind of sink in. That means that the people going a day before you, 2 days before you, already got to purchase their Lightning Lane multi-passes and select rides and times that they liked before you. So that means those first few days, if you're going for a week and you're trying to get Lightning Lane multi-passes and the first day, like your first park day, there isn't a lot of availability, there isn't a lot of ride times, you don't like the ride selections, whatever the situation, that's because a whole chunk of people who arrived before you got to do it before you. So what that means is if you have a key park, a key ride, Tiana's, yeah, you want to put that towards the end of your vacation, because you're most likely going to be able to score Tiana's at the time you want to ride Tiana's towards the end of your trip, because all those first few days of your vacation, everyone else, people going before you, got to select their passes before you. The same, like I said, is true for dining. You can't get Cinderella's Royal Table, push it towards the end of your vacation, because at the beginning of your vacation, everyone before you got to book it before you. Hopefully that's kind of making sense. So for me, that very first day, I didn't get a lot of Tiana options. I got like an 8 p.m. I don't want to ride Tiana's at 8 p.m. It's going to be a little chilly. But towards the end of my trip, the Tiana time started popping up more availability and better times. So just note that. If you really, really want to do something at a particular time, perhaps you have a dining reservation or you've got kiddos or you want to sleep, whatever your situation is, aim for the end of your trip, not the beginning. Number 5, I still recommend that people try to follow the map. I like to know ahead of time I'm going to start in Adventureland. That's where I'm going to start in the morning. So if I'm going to get an early morning ride, like return time, a pass, I'm going to kind of pick one in Adventureland because that's where I'm going to start. I ride it, I get another pass. I ride that, I get another pass. As opposed to people who really don't understand the map and they're getting passes all over the place. That's what I like to call the human ping pong ball. Now this especially happens for people who don't pay attention or for people who just want coasters and they're willing to just go from here to there and there and whoop and they're all over the place. You're gonna get so tired and so hot very fast. I try to follow the map. Well, I know I'm gonna be here at this time because that's where I'm gonna be eating dinner, and so you kind of sort of arrange your passes around what you think you're gonna be doing or where you think you're gonna be located as opposed to all over the place. So just try to think of that. I get a lot of people who are, they use the system and then they complain, well, I was here and there and I was so tired going back and forth. Well, that's how you selected your passes. Don't do that. Select all your passes when you know you're going to be in that area based on the flow of the map. Number 6. Now I know the goal for most people, yeah, raise your hand because I'm talking to you. Your goal here under the Lightning Lane Multipass is to ride as many rides as possible, right? You're trying to get the bang for your buck. Like if I can ride 10 rides and so only rode 4, like I got my bang for my buck. In fact, you'll see YouTube videos like I used Lightning Lane Multipass and I rode 12 rides, whoopity-doo, They didn't ride 12 amazing rides. They rode 12 rides, which could include rides that you could have walked on anyway, or rides that would have had a 5-minute wait. So don't get uber excited. But if you're someone who wants that, like I am trying to maximize, I want to get more rides, more bang for my buck. I want to go from ride. You can do that under Lightning Lane Multipass. The key is when you go to select your passes and your return times, get something at 9 o'clock or whatever park opening is. Any ride, 9 a.m. Because as soon as you scan into that ride, some rides do have 2 checkpoints, so got to pay attention to that. But as soon as you scan in, like, yes, I'm here to ride that ride. I'm here for Dumbo. I'm ready to scan in. You can immediately get another ride. You can immediately get another ride that's 9:20, 9:30, and you can literally do this all day long and just go from ride to ride to ride. You pass the ride, You scan into it, you ride it, you pass another, and you just keep doing it. As soon as you've scanned in, you can keep passing. You scan in again, you pass. You want to make ultra most of your day? Get 2 rides at opening. Some parks open at 9, some don't. I'm using the 9 o'clock time frame as an example. Whatever park opening is, that's when you want your first ride, because as soon as you scan in, you get another. Now, if you have 2 rides in the 9 o'clock time frame, maybe one's at 9 and one's at 9:30, you can have 2 rides that you're constantly riding, scanning, and passing and going back and forth throughout the day to maximize to get the most rides as possible. But like I said, under this situation, you are passing things maybe you weren't that interested in. It was just the pass was there and you thought, heck yeah, sure, I'll pass Aladdin's flying carpet. Sure, why not? That's how people are doing that, because you want to get that pass at 9 a.m. because as soon as you scan in, you get another pass. So 9 a.m., at least 1 is key. If you can get 2 at early morning, even better for you. Number 7, well, this system 100% works for those who are doing rope drop. Early morning magic hours, even better. Basically, early bird gets the worm. Early bird always gets the worm. Early bird gets the best rides and ride times, right? Return times. But the same is true when you're physically in the park. As soon as you're able to enter the park and get into that first ride and scan, you get another pass. And you never know, because that pass might be something amazing that you couldn't get previously. So the key here is really make sure you get a 9 a.m. pass for anything. And yeah, you have to be there at rope drop. This system is 100% designed for those of us who can wake up early and get to the park at rope drop. Rope drop, for those of you who don't know, cast members used to actually physically drop a rope and then everyone would rush to the rides. Well, they deemed that unsafe because people could technically trip over the rope. Rope drop is code for opening, park opening. They used to have a rope. Everyone used to run to the nearest coaster. And yeah, the rope would sometimes get tangled. Cast members are yelling, slow down, no running in the park, so they stopped the rope drop, the physical rope. But yes, that's what they're talking about. It's park opening. People will line up waiting for the time to happen, and you can go and disperse to the rides. The sooner you're in the park, the sooner you're riding that 9 a.m. ride, the sooner you're scanning, the sooner you're getting better passes. Number 8, travel day. Those of you who go to the parks on travel day, those of you who want to sleep in, those of you who have an early morning dining reservation, basically anyone who's not going to rope drop, people who are not going to be at the park at opening at 9 a.m., sadly, this system, or I should say the tricks, are just not for you. This system is really designed for people who can maximize it at 9 a.m. For the rest of us, you are guaranteed at least 3 rides with 3 return times at purchase. So travel day people who want to sleep in, you're getting those 3 rides. Once you ride that first ride, you may be lucky to get a 4th and a 5th, but it might not be Tiana's Bayou Adventure. You may be riding Small World. And for some of you, that's okay. So just note this system really works for those of you who are going to the park all day and who can get there first thing in the morning. Because you can't stack your passes more than 3 at a time. The goal here is to get 3 passes constantly in your passes piggy bank at a time, because as soon as you scan into one, thus riding it, you get another. You scan into it, riding it, you get another, right? But if it's travel day and you're on the airplane, you're not scanning or riding anything. So your 3 that are in your piggy bank are kind of just sitting there until you get to ride it. Once you ride your first one, then hopefully there's more for you. But yeah, sadly, on your travel day, you may just end up with 3 or 4 rides, and you're just gonna have to be okay with that. And just note that days that when you have full park days, yeah, 9 a.m. is definitely key. All right, who's ready for number 9? This is the big kahuna of tips. This is the one everyone kept asking me about. Yes, tried and true. I had to make sure this was legit because I had a glitch on my first day, and this wasn't the case for me on my first day, but this 100% is the case going forward. So the goal for most people, including myself, is to score all the tier 1 passes. For those of you who know about Lightning Lane Multipass, you know that there are 2 tiers. Tier 1 is the most popular rides. Tier 2 is whatever's left over. The majority of people really want to ride the rides in Tier 1, your Tianas. So to maximize this, the best way, or pretty much the only way to get all the Tier 1 passes, yeah, in your piggy bank, you get 3, right, is to do this. When it's time for you to select your passes on whatever day that's happening for you, again, there is a difference, so check out the explanation video. Make sure you get at least 1. 2 are better, 9 a.m. passes. Make sure, even though you've got your list of rides that you want, get something simple and easy to scan into for your 9 a.m. ride. This ride could be at park entrance, because if you're coming in through the park entrance, you want to be able to quickly scan into this ride and get your next pass. For those of you who are doing early morning hours because you are a Disney Resort guest, what ride are you running to first? At 9 a.m., where do you plan on being? Are you going to be near that ride? You're going to try to select a pass for any ride. It doesn't matter. Teacups, Spaceship Earth, doesn't matter, for 9 a.m. It's even better if you can get 2 passes, one for 9 a.m., one for 9:15, one for 9:30, it doesn't matter. So this is the key. I know you guys have been waiting. You purchase your passes, you've got your 3 passes, your 3 rides, your 3 return times. You can modify and do things all you want, right? And then it's park day. You cannot change those tier 2 passes to tier 1 until you have entered the park and have scanned into that first ride. This is why getting a ride at 9 a.m. is key. Any ride close to where you're gonna be. Don't pick a ride that's at the end of the park and you're gonna have to walk miles to get there. 9 a.m. for a ride that's gonna be right where you are. For most of you, it might be park entrance. As soon as you scanned into that ride, boop, boop, I'm ready to go, I'm using my pass, you immediately get on your phone and modify all the rest of your rides to tier 1. That's right, you can 100% have Tiana's Bayou Adventure, Space Mountain, and Big Thunder all at the same time on your list of passes. Absolutely, but you cannot do it at your Disney Resort, as previously happened to me. You can't do it as soon as you enter the park. It's when you scan into your first ride of the day using the Lightning Lane Multipass system. This is why it's key to get a 9 a.m. pass. It doesn't matter if it's a pass you don't care about. It can be a toss away pass. You just have to scan into it. If you let the pass disappear, like I've talked about before, you have to wait till after 10 p.m. to change it. And you might even need guest services or a Blue Umbrella's help. If you just pick something quick and easy that you can scan into, you can immediately change all of your passes to tier 1. Now, you might not get the best times, but you can definitely change your passes to tier 1. So yes, guys, this has 100% been tested by several people and recently, and so I know it is 100% a thing. When I go to Magic Kingdom, yes, I want to ride tier 2 passes. I want to ride Haunted Mansion. I want to ride Pirates, but I can keep getting those throughout the day as I ride the tier 1s. Because once you ride, you get to get another pass. It's just most likely Tiana's is gonna be gone. So if I can score a Tiana's and then I can score a Big Thunder and I can score a Space Mountain and do all the coasters, I can add Pirates and Haunted Mansion as the day goes on. Now this is really key for Epcot because Epcot's top 4, here's Test Track, currently closed, but it will be up there. Soarin', Frozen, Remy. Most people want to ride all of those. Well, you can only hold 3 in your piggy bank at one time. And when you first make passes, you only get 1 of those. Well, it's 9 a.m. It's park day. You just scanned into, I don't know, Figment. Now you get to immediately change all your passes. And if one of your passes, let's say Soarin', because that's really close to Figment, is at 9:30, go ride Soarin' so you can score the 4th tier 1. You can absolutely do this, guys. This is the best way to maximize your vacation if you want all tier 1 passes. So hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about. Yes, it's early morning people. Scan into the first ride you can possibly find that you have a pass for at 9 a.m. and then go in and modify everything else. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that tip. Number 10, I'm just here to remind you that when you go to purchase your Lightning Lane multi-passes, you start out with your 3 Lightning Lane multi-passes, right? You can purchase up to 2 Lightning Lane single pass, and then you can hold 1 virtual queue, which you would get that morning, that park day morning, all at the same time. That is 6 passes you're starting off with in one day, if you so wish. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this tips and tricks video. I want to remind you that for a good chunk of people, perhaps not my viewers who specifically sought out a tips and tricks video, for many people, you know, perhaps people who are, this is their first time at the parks, they may be happy with their 3 rides, their original 3 rides that they picked on the app. They picked 3 that they wanted. They picked 3 times that they liked. They're happy to ride those 3. That's great. This situation, this constantly modifying and constantly staring at your phone, yeah, those are for people who are trying to get more bang for their buck. They're trying to get all those tier 1s. They're trying to get better times per their situation. A good chunk of people, they're gonna have their 3 rides, they're gonna ride their 3 rides, they may get a 4th or 5th, and that's fine with them. So you've always got the people who are trying to push the envelope and they wanna get all the tips and tricks, and then there's the people that are like, you know, I'm okay, I'm doing this very relaxed. I don't want to stare at my phone. I just want to get my 3 passes and go about my day. To each their own, right? But just remember, early bird is the key. Early bird gets the worm. This counts for just purchasing the actual passes. Obviously, Disney Resort guests 7 days in advance. So this system really works for you. But if for some reason you're a last minute pass purchaser, as long as you got something at 9 a.m. and you scanned into it at 9 a.m., you can change all your passes, of course, per availability. We don't know what's going to be available the day you go when you do this, but as of right now, tested, you can get all top tier 1 if you want. Just remember, you got to scan in first, get that ride at 9 a.m. and just keep going. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Did I answer all your questions? Was this the video you guys were waiting for? Hopefully, let me know in the comments. Again, if this was like, whoo, what is she talking about? Check out my explanation video. And if you guys need a how-to video, like how to actually purchase the passes, let me know. I can work on that for the next time I go to the theme parks. But for right now, this is the way, top 10 ways to make the most of a Lightning Lane multi-pass, because again, they're not cheap and you have to purchase them each day for each person in your party. So if you're gonna purchase something that could cost you $100 to $200 a day, yeah, you definitely wanna know what you're doing and you wanna know how to maximize that. And that's what this video was for. Anyway, guys, let me know in the comments. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. If the subscribe button is red, please click it, turn it gray, hit the bell icon for notifications. Like this video, pretty please, and share. Share with everyone, guys. Please post all this stuff all over your social media. Share it with family and friends, anyone you know who is going to Disney World, because I feel like we need to get this stuff out there. And yeah, I would love the support of my channel. So my Genie Plus videos went viral and kind of blew up. Let's let this one blow up, right? Let's see what this one does. So anyway, guys, I appreciate all the views and all the support as always. So yeah, mahalo for watching, guys. Nina, out.